Hi guys, I'm Elaine and today I'm going to show you my drawing process, and along the way I will also share some tips on how you can improve your drawing skills and create realistic artwork like this. Oh, I've been, you know, practicing realism for the past, I think, 6 years. And during that time, I tried a lot of different techniques that helped me helped me grow as an artist. But honestly, the thing that helped me the most was simply drawing consistently. And you might be wondering, isn't it too tiring to draw all the time? Or why did you choose realism? Well, I have actually tried other styles before, like um, semi-realism and dot colors, but somehow ended up I always end up adding more details, more shadow, and more depth until the artwork becomes realistic. And I don't know if it's just me, but realism has always been my comfort zone. Whether I'm drawing traditionally or digitally using oil paint, charcoal, watercolor, or even just a pencil, I naturally find myself focusing on details that make the artwork look more realistic. And one thing I have learned is that there are no shortcuts to achieving this kind of result. It takes patience, practice, and a willingness to keep learning. For me, digital painting feels easier, not because it's actually easy, but because I genuinely enjoy it. And when you love what you do, learning doesn't feel like a burden. You become curious, you study, you practice, you improve, then you do it all over again. And to start, digital art, you usually need a few tools. Like in my case, an iPad and a stylus work perfectly for my drawing flow or workflow. Once you have the tools, the most important thing is to simply to draw. You can draw from imagination or use references. And personally, most of my artwork is portrait based, so I often use references, and sometimes I even use myself as a reference. I draw my own eyes, nose, and facial features. And if you've been following me for a while, you probably know that I love drawing eyes, nose, lips, and you will really see me drawing landscapes, animals, buildings. Maybe someday I will, but for now, portraits are definitely my favorites. In school, it's like in school is my favorite subject. And drawing portraits involves learning proportions, and it's kind of hard if you're a beginner to learn that. But uh, it also involves basic sketching and understanding facial structure. And you'll find many tutorials online that suggest, tracing a pace and then focusing only on coloring. While tracing can help beginners practice, I personally don't think it should become your main learning method. It may help you complete an artwork, but it won't always help you develop your drawing skills. I'm not saying tracing is wrong or cheating. Everyone learns differently. But if your goal is to improve, I encourage you to challenge yourself with a more traditional, approach. Practice sketching, observing proportions, and understanding all the basic in drawings. And in the long run, these skills will help you grow much more as an artist. As for digital painting, I often use a a technique called blocking. Blocking is the process of creating simple shapes and laying down base colors before adding details. However, for this particular artwork, I started with a rough sketch because sometimes having guidelines help achieve better accuracy and proportions. And I know that sounds a little contradictory, but that's the interesting thing about art. Different approaches can work depending on the drawing itself. And maybe in another video, I'll show you more of my digital painting process. You may have already seen some of my shorts or reels where I create artwork without line art. Over time, I have even developed a technique that works really well for me, a method I call pixel to realism drawing. It's a technique I've been experimenting with, and honestly, it has produced some great drawing of mine. So if you'd like to see the process and learn more about it, let me know in the comments. Maybe that will be, the topic of my next, video. And guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this drawing process. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much, guys.